Today on Investigate TV Plus, reports of record-breaking sea level rise in the U.S.
See how a changing coast is already forcing people from their homes.
On the Isle of Jean Charles is where I have a sense of belonging. It's where I feel where home is for me.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Also, the pros and cons of buy now, pay later.
You're not building credit. The only thing you may do is potentially harm your credit.
Hear from experts who believe the payment practice is putting more people over budget.
Plus, a device once only prescribed by a doctor, now available over the counter. We investigate the benefits to the new hearing aid option.
They may just need a little extra volume for television.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
The government moves dozens of people to new homes as the land they once walked is disappearing.
It's the first federally funded community relocation in the country, brought on by rising sea levels.
Reporter Rob Masson traveled to a small Louisiana island to hear from those so-called climate refugees.
Tattered homes sit in shambles as the Gulf of Mexico consumes the land. Ile de Jean Charles, an island in Terrebonne Parish, is the ancestral homeland for many Native Americans.
My name is Edison Dodo, Island Buffalo.
And though it's rapidly disappearing, some refuse to leave.
He wants to die there. And who am I to tell him he can't do that?
Hurricanes scarred the island, leaving houses damaged and abandoned in ways never imagined. Ile de Jean Charles once encompassed 22,000 acres of land. Now, longtime residents watch it wash away.
Not in my lifetime. I didn't think that I would have to worry about, dealing with having to be settled somewhere else.
Ile de Jean Charles, named for a Frenchman who did business with pirate Jean Lafitte, served as a refuge for Native Americans who were forced to move from higher ground. But that refuge now, a sliver, down to 320 acres due to subsidence and coastal erosion.
So I have most of my stuff packed, ready to make the move. If they're happy when they move, that's good for them.
On a typical summer day, water begins to cover the only road down to the Isle. And although few people are left, 73-year-old Edison Dardar isn't leaving.
There's nothing that could really have brought you to moving off the island?
Not me, no. Unless they give me $1 million.
The island is considered to be one of the first communities in the country to succumb to rising sea levels. And living there, for many, has become unsustainable.
I've gone as much as 13 days without mail because the mail lady wouldn't come down the road because she had to drive through salt water.
Over the last 70 years, the state of Louisiana says 95% of the land here has disappeared.
11 feet up.
Father Rock Nakan, a Native American, says problems began surfacing with Hurricane Hilda in the 1960s. He has had to raise his home 3 times since then.
Before that time, the island was high enough, safe enough, that it didn't flood.
Now Father Nakan is one of 37 Ile de Jean Charles residents relocating to higher ground in northern Terrebonne Parish. In 2016, the state was awarded federal funds to develop a new 500-acre, $48 million community called New Isle.
To our knowledge, yeah, this is the first time that federal funds have been used to move a whole community like this out of harm's way.
Johnny Tomplay is also taking one of the new homes, though he will keep his old house on Ile de Jean Charles.
It's peaceful. If I wake up in the morning and I decide, hell, what am I going to do? Eat breakfast and go fishing. What man wouldn't like that?
State officials say the New Isle community will attempt to replicate Ile de Jean Charles with fishing areas, a community center, and homes built to withstand 150-mile-an-hour winds.
When you do the first one, it's going to cost you more. We are the pilot project for this, if you will.
The new homes are small but tidy, featuring outdoor sinks for cleaning fish, wheelchair ramps, and screened patios. And although they're on higher ground, better protected from hurricanes, some say they wouldn't be moving if it weren't for a provision that allows them to keep their Ile de Jean Charles dwellings as secondary homes.
If it included my house and property, I wasn't going. If it was something that was going to be against me, losing this right here, forget it.
But at 89 years old, Father Rock Nakan says he's ready to go. Only 26 of around 300 families remain, and Nakan questions those who stay.
We live in a dangerous place to flood. If you have an opportunity to move to higher ground and safer place, I said, try to take advantage of it while you have the opportunity.
While some tribal members are moving 40 miles to the north, others are staying in the area. And I'm standing on the main reason why. The Terrebonne Levee District says the new levee around Pointe-aux-Chênes, just north of Jean Charles, is helping keep floodwater out. And though wind damaged 90% of homes during Ida, Annie Hutchinson says she and many of her friends aren't moving. Why do you love it down here?
Because it's home. Where else can my kids went in the backyard and go fishing, hunting, and it's home.
The majority of those moving are Native Americans, and the United Homa Nation has concerns about moving Native Americans from ancestral lands to what is basically a suburban setting.
It's a community mental health issue, and that the approach needs to be as opposed to individual, because the community as a whole is grieving. It's a grief for the loss of the land. It's a loss of that connection to the generations of your ancestors that were there before.
Living on the edge of an encroaching gulf has always been challenging, but for many, worth every minute.
I didn't move here to live here. I moved here to die here.
Edison Dardar says for him, it's a no-brainer. He and 3 others will stay in a place his ancestors have inhabited for 5 generations, in spite of hurricanes and high water, because it's
home. That's because I was born and raised here, I guess, and I mean, it's a good place to live.
And though no one can predict what the next hurricane may bring, the prognosis is not good for a community that continues to fight a losing battle against rising water, one of the most powerful forces on Earth.
Eventually, that new community is expected to be home to nearly 120 former residents of Ile de Jean Charles.
A study led by Tulane University found over the past 12 years, the rise in sea level has rapidly accelerated along the southeast and Gulf Coast. According to the research published in April 2023, scientists detected a rise of about ½ an inch per year since 2010, 3 times higher than the global average over the same period. Although researchers believe rates will likely return to more moderate values in the coming decades, the study highlights the need to protect vulnerable coastlines.
Hurricanes, wildfires, and tornadoes force millions to leave their home every year.
This is our living room. Everything was just redone.
Still ahead, a touching story of memories lost and then found.
But first, we investigate a shopping strategy that might be getting people in over their head.
We want to make sure people are aware of what they're doing before they do it, because this can really seriously impact your credit rating.
The best ways to protect your budget when you decide to buy now, pay later.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes. It's a new form of lending with a familiar feel. Buy now, pay later.
With one click, you can split your online purchase into a series of payments, but experts warn this popular plan could catch consumers off guard.
Rachel DePapa speaks with local and state government officials looking to increase regulations.
Oh, I already had things in my card.
It's a problem most parents know well.
Carrie Williamson is constantly shopping to replace the clothes and shoes of her 2 young and growing boys, which is why she says buy now, pay later's
4 payments of $31.28 with Afterpay.
Been a lifesaver.
And then you just hit pay with Afterpay. I love using buy now, pay later. I think it's very attractive and convenient and easy for one-income families, maybe single mothers, even if you have 2 incomes.
Here's how it works. During checkout, most retailers will now offer you an option to break up your total purchase into 4 smaller payments, often with no interest. For instance, if your total's $300, you'll pay $75 at checkout and then have 3 remaining payments of $75, each due a few weeks apart. You'll get the product immediately, and as long as you made all those payments on time, you'll pay off the purchase in 6 weeks.
Have you ever had any problem?
I've never had a problem. I mean, they send me the reminder, the money's always there, and you get your product immediately.
5 major buy now, pay later firms, Afterpay, Klarna, PayPal, Affirm, and Zip, reported to a federal watchdog agency $24 billion in loans in 2021, up from $2 billion in 2019. Despite its popularity, 21 state attorneys general across the country are expressing concerns, writing to a government watchdog that some buy now, pay later providers are frequently failing to provide consumers with clear disclosures. Karen Strawn is with the Maryland Attorney General's office in the Consumer Protection Division.
Is there a difference between buy now, pay later and credit cards?
Absolutely. Credit cards, you are building credit when you make purchases and you pay off your bill. With a buy now, pay later situation, you're not building credit. The only thing you may do is potentially harm your credit if you miss a payment.
And more people are missing payments. According to a new study from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, more than 10% of consumers were charged at least 1 late fee last year. More oversight may be on the way.
The CFPB is looking at a number of options.
Laura Udis is a senior program manager with the CFPB. In the report, the agency identifies several risks for consumers using buy now, pay later, including the lack of clear disclosures about loan terms, issues resolving disputes, and the requiring of auto pay for payments. Affirm tells us it is transparent and there are no hidden fees. Klarna says low-cost, low-risk, no-interest products like BNPL should not fundamentally be regulated in the same fashion as high-cost credit products. Financial coaches like Cherry Dale with the Virginia Credit Union say budgeting is key when it comes to buy now, pay later.
You as the consumer need to understand, okay, I have a buy now, pay later product that I am paying $100, $200 on. I've got to calculate that and make sure that I don't get in over my head.
They do Afterpay as well.
Carrie Williamson doesn't use credit cards. For her family, buy now, pay later is a useful tool to make inflation more manageable. But others warn buy now, pay later may get you in over your head.
The CFPB also categorizes how people use buy now, pay later.
In 2019, everyday purchases such as gas, groceries, and utilities were around $3 million. By 2021, that ballooned to $230 million.
You can read the full responses from the companies that responded to our request for comment at InvestigateTV.com. Coming up, over the counter but under scrutiny. Why new access to hearing aids is raising concerns.
They go out, they try an over-the-counter hearing device, and they go, that didn't work. Hearing aids don't work. And now they put off getting help for more years.
Our in-depth coverage continues. You can get connected to Investigate TV Plus on all social media platforms. According to the Food and Drug Administration, hearing loss affects an estimated 30 million people in the U.S., but only 1/5 of those who could benefit from a hearing aid seek help.
Yet to improve access and affordability, a new class of hearing aids hit the market in 2022. But critics worry some of those devices do not benefit the patient.
Here's an in-depth look at the over-the-counter option.
Hearing loss, hearing health is so much a part of overall wellness.
In August of 2022, the Food and Drug Administration changed the rules for hearing aids. You can now buy the device over the counter.
Pharmacy plan. Do you have a pharmacy plan?
The move came 5 years after Congress passed a law requiring the category. The goal, to broaden access and lower the cost of hearing aids.
And hopefully having this more mainstream will get people talking about taking care of their hearing and taking that first step.
However, some audiologists have concerns since you don't need an exam or prescription.
When people have a more moderate to severe degree of hearing loss, hearing aids alone, particularly something that just amplifies everything, may end up not being as helpful.
Dr. Jan Lowles, an audiologist in Alabama, stresses over-the-counter hearing aids are for people 18 and older who have mild to moderate hearing loss.
Meaning that they may just need a little extra volume for television or maybe a little boost to a soft voice.
Other symptoms that would lead to someone to get an OTC aid include trouble hearing on the telephone in noisy places or difficulty following group conversations. But if you have trouble hearing loud sounds like power tools or conversations in quiet environments, the FDA recommends you seek a hearing care professional.
Think of it kind of like readers compared to prescription glasses. I think that's a good analogy.
The owner of Ham Hearing Aid Center in North Carolina believes having a fitting with a professional is the biggest difference from OTC hearing aids.
There is no recourse, there is no regulation with over-the-counter hearing aids. An individual is self-assessing, self-prescribing. So this is kind of like the Wild Wild West.
Ham warns there could also be long-term consequences for ill-fitting hearing aids.
They go out, they try an over-the-counter hearing device, and they go, that didn't work. Hearing aids don't work. And now they put off getting help for more years, and then they're losing more valuable understanding. Their quality of life suffers.
Research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association in April of 2023 found self-fitting hearing aids were as effective as audiologist-fitted devices. The study is small, following only 68 patients with mild to moderate hearing loss over 6 weeks. Researchers plan to report an update after several months.
Be excited about the potential, but also be cautious.
Despite concerns, many feel OTC hearing aids can help millions of people suffering from hearing loss. If you're considering hearing aids, the FDA has an article online that highlights some common technologies and terms. It's also where you can report an issue with an OTC device. You can find it under the Consumer Updates tab on FDA.gov.
The FDA also states hearing aids may reduce the frequency or severity of cognitive decline and depression. A separate December 2022 study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association agrees. Researchers in Singapore found the use of a hearing aid led to a 19% reduction in long-term cognitive decline. The study also found in the short term, using hearing aids was associated with a slight increase in cognitive test scores.
Next, a tornado tears through an Arkansas home.
20 years of being a mom. My children's memories of me raising them, they can never be replaced.
But hope is kept alive when a stranger helps a memory make it home.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can watch stories and full episodes.
Images of leveled homes.
This is our living room. Everything was just redone.
Flooded neighborhoods.
You can see the steps going down into the water. That's the entrance to my porch and house.
Burned heirlooms.
When everything was chaotic, I just wanted to get my kid out of here and make sure he was okay.
According to NOAA, natural disasters in the U.S. resulted in more than $165 billion in damage in 2022, making it the third costliest year on record.
Me and my husband worked so hard to finally get to the point of building our own stuff, and 24 hours, it's all gone.
While houses can be rebuilt, certain items cannot be replaced. But thanks to compassionate people, some of those valuables make it back.
Just like this high school photo one mom thought was lost in March of 2023 after an EF3 tornado carved a path through Wynne, Arkansas.
A family huddled in a bathroom.
20 years of being a mom. My children's memories of me raising them.
Emerging to see their belongings scattered.
They can never be replaced.
A cherished photo carried to Tennessee.
We need to post this on Facebook and see if, anybody knows her, or see if somebody lost this, they might want it back.
That same day, a connection found.
I can't thank them enough. We're lucky to be here. We're lucky to have people around us to care enough to do that, to go the extra mile.
Nearly 200 miles away.
Glad we can help your family. It's the least we could do.
People around here that know her could identify it and reach out to her as well and let her know that her picture has been found through all this devastation, through all the loss that we've all had.
You're in our thoughts. We're thinking about all y'all and everyone affected, and we just hope the recovery goes well for you.
Thank you. God bless you.
You know, being a mom myself, you just really cherish those memories of your children, whether it's their old clothes, pictures, awards, and to get that back is so precious.
And I just love seeing, like, during the worst of times for some people, that others will come step up and try anything they can to try to, better their situation.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's it for us from Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching. Next time on Investigate TV Plus, recalled products in your home and for sale online. And the consequences can be deadly.
Not a day goes by that I don't think of my grandson.
Why critics say the government isn't doing enough to keep your family safe.